Unit 2. Toys. Toys song.
What is red? What is red? Can you see? Can you see?
I can see a scooter. I can see a scooter. Point with me. Point with me.
What is pink? What is pink? Can you see? Can you see?
I can see a dolly. I can see a dolly.
Point with me. Point with me. What is yellow? What is yellow? Can you see? Can you see?
I can see a teddy. I can see a teddy. Point with me. Point with me.
What is purple? What is purple? Can you see? Can you see?
I can see a ball. I can see a ball. Point with me. Point with me.
What is green? What is green? Can you see? Can you see?
I can see a car. I can see a car.
Point with me. Point with me. What is blue? What is blue? Can you see? Can you see?
I can see a train. I can see a train.
Point with me. Point with me.
There are so many different categories of black on white violence. I mean, we look at a lot of them here. We keep playlists of a lot of them. Black on old, black on young, black mob violence, black on senior, black on women, black on Asian, black on gay. But there's one category we probably should have, but I've just neglected to put them all in the same place. It's the category of black on white violence when the white person tells the black person to do something in public or tries to correct a black person in public. I'm thinking of the dozens of videos I've seen of a black child on a bus. Maybe the child's doing something dangerous, or maybe it's crying, maybe its diapers or pants are wet, maybe it's cold, or maybe the mother is neglecting it. Hundreds and hundreds of different kinds of things that could happen where a white person, usually a white woman nearby, will say something like, excuse me, but did you know, something, 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 your baby is in danger? Well, then it's on. Well, that's where this kind of fits in. Apparently, we don't have much audio on this. Apparently, the white kid, the white hipster, the white person in Philadelphia reminds this black gentleman that smoking is frowned upon in public places in Philadelphia. Let's see what happens next.
Damn. Babe, I'm not playing with you.
He told you though. He said I'm gonna tell you one more time. Don't say anything to me.
Disrespectful. Why you kick him though?
He told you.
Do you guys remember a story we did involving Baltimore? Well, it was a month or so ago. A guy named Peter Marvitt, he was a singer. He was a singer in lots of these different choral groups in Baltimore. They sang with the Baltimore Symphony. A couple years ago, Peter decided he was going to be the first person to move into a black neighborhood with his family soon after he was dead. Well, I told the story of Peter Marvitt when the conductor of the Baltimore Symphony came out and said how much she was, though she was white, how much she's down with Black Lives Matter and all the riots because people weren't listening to black people, darn it, and we got to start listening to them. And as long as we don't listen, these riots and this black violence is fine with her. So I posed the question to her in the story and in the video, what about Peter Marvitt? What did he do to deserve his death? He walked up on his porch. A bunch of people come up to him and killed him. Well, I just heard from his brother. His brother's very angry at me. He's very angry for introducing the racial angle into this. Called me lots of names. The usual stuff. Tried to call me names to shut down the conversation, which I'm kind of immune to. I have been since day one starting this. But it really does illuminate the larger point that there's an enormous amount of black on white hostility, resentment, anger, often resulting in violence that white people are just absolutely not aware of, or they think they can talk their way through. They can't grok it. This guy with a backpack here in the subway, perfect example. Hey man, can't we just talk this whole cigarette thing out? Let me just talk to you, man. I'll take the earphones out of my head, and I'm sure that'll, can't we just talk brother to brother? Well, that didn't work out very well for this guy with the backpack. And for this guy, Peter Marvitt's brother, to get all angry with me and with all the other people that disagreed with him on Twitter, that's not working out very well either. When we do these stories of black on white crime and black mob violence against white people, Asian, old, young, gay, whatever, we don't really do the soft sell. We don't really do the apology thing. We don't really do the qualifying thing. We just say, hey, this happened and it's been happening a long time and it happens a whole hell of a lot. And so we don't really put the kid gloves on when it comes to the victims and their families. We're trying to save the next victim. I mean, I'm thinking of Ray Widstrand in St. Paul. White kid, moved into a black neighborhood. He was just a free spirit. Moved into a black neighborhood. A few weeks later, he was attacked by 50 people. They almost killed him, and they almost got off. Even as it stands, the people that were convicted on lesser charges. So those are the stakes here. It's the stakes are routine activity theory. A white person around in a black neighborhood or around a bunch of black people can routinely expect to be the victim of horrific levels of violence. And people can try to do the morally superior thing and say, Colin, you're just making that up. I'm kind of immune to that too. Because here, the fact is, I didn't invent this this racial paradigm we're in. I didn't invent this world. I didn't invent this world of black colleges, black newspapers, black TV, black radio, black music, black clothing, black funeral homes, black churches. I didn't invade this. I didn't invade this hyper-racial conscious society we live in. But I am pointing it out, the weak underbelly of this whole racial conscious thing we built up around us is this enormous level of black violence, black on white, black on Asian, black on gay, black on whatever, all over the damn place that everybody is ignoring, reporters and public officials and activists and even relatives, even victims, because I consider relatives victims, even victims ignore, deny, condone, excuse, encourage, and even lie about. People say, Colin, why do they do that? I don't know why they do that. I don't do the why, I just do the how. But if somebody wanted to say they're sick SOBs, I would say, yeah, I think they're crazy as a loon. Because to ignore this kind of existential threat is, of course, a form of suicide. That by definition is not rational, that by definition is nuts. We don't need our preeminent psychologist friend Marlon Newburn to tell us that, though I think he has told us just that on many occasions. So we're just going to keep, churning through these videos. I don't care. I'm just going to keep doing them. I'm going to keep doing them until we keep chipping away at this mountain of denial, deceit, and delusion that is causing so many people to be hurt. This kid we saw in this video is Peter Marvitt from Baltimore. His brother's life is his brother, even though he was very, very mean and nasty to me, his life is ruined through this experience as well. I don't treat the deniers with kid gloves. I don't care how close they are to the victims. I don't care how much of a victim they might be. But even so, I could see what's happening to people like that. And it's not fair for us to expect the victims to know what's going on, because they might know as much about it as what they read in the paper, which is the only thing you read in the paper, especially Baltimore, is that black people are relentless victims of relentless white racism all the time, everywhere. That explains everything. That's the greatest lie of our generation. That's why I want you to share this video, like it, subscribe to this channel, subscribe to my Facebook page. Because that's how we're going to win. This is Colin Flaherty, author of Don't Make the Black Kids Angry. Pretty good advice when you're walking around the streets of Philadelphia or the black neighborhoods of Baltimore.